Hi, I'm Christopher. Welcome to the channel. You read the title right. This one's about Docker networking. So if you're using Docker, you're probably using Docker networking already, but it just doesn't have all the details of your current network. It just sees a network interface, a gateway, some DNS information, and it can use that to get away with everything that it needs to do. Now, I like poking stuff with a stick, so let's go ahead and get into a Docker container here, and let's poke around a bit to see what's going on. We can use apt-update to update our repositories. And once that's done, we're going to install the iproot2 package. This has a whole bunch of utilities for us to check the networking interfaces and gateways on the container. So I'll use apt install iproot2 and use -y. iproot2 is the package that has all of these utilities that I've mentioned. And we'll let this run. Now, once that's installed, we can use the IP address list command to see all the network interfaces on this container. You'll see we have one network interface over here. Now there's another command called iproot_list, which will give us all of the routes that we have currently available. You'll see we have one here at the top. So we can verify this information by doing a docker inspect on a current container, and you'll see in the networking section here at the bottom, all of the information matches up. The Docker networks are just another thing that we create with the Docker CLI, just another object. So now there are a few Docker drivers that you could use. We'll be going over the bridge interface, but if you want me to go over more detail about all the different types, I can do that in a future video. Just let me know in the comments below. So now let's test out a little MySQL instance here to see how this Docker networking works. We're going to create a network to start off with. Then we're going to run a container. We're going to run it with a few parameters. We're going to use --name to give this a friendly name that we can manage. We're going to use the environment parameter to pass in the password. We use --network to connect this to our Crispy VNet. We use --hostname, MySQL, and then -d for daemonize. Now once this is running, you'll see we haven't forwarded any ports. So if I use netcat to try and connect to this, it'll say connection refused. So we're going to go ahead and connect a Ubuntu container to the same network so that we can do some poking around. And we'll just run that with bash. So now I'm going to need some tools inside here to do all of the different shenanigans I want to do. We can use apt-update to update our repositories. And I'm going to need a few tools to do this. I'm going to need the MySQL client. And I'm also going to need the netcat utility so that I can test connectivity. So I'll go ahead and install those two utilities using MySQL-client and ncat to use nmaps version of the netcat client and -y just to confirm without prompting me. I'm going to go ahead and let this install. And once we have this, we can use netcat to test with that host name we created before of MySQL and just the ports. And you'll see we have a successful connection. So we can also now connect to this with MySQL using that host name we defined before. So we're going to use MySQL. We're going to use the root user. We're going to use that MySQL hostname we defined before. And we're going to pass in the password. So now that we're connected, we can go ahead and run a show databases command just to prove that everything's working 100%. And this is a quick example of how networking works between two containers in Docker. Thank you for your time. I hope you found value out of this quick intro to Docker networking. If you're looking for your next video, you'll find that over here.